Have you ever imagined the moment when you realize you need to escape, not tomorrow, not next week, but now, at this very second door? Maybe you'll never have another chance. When adrenaline overcomes fear, when survival instinct screams louder than the voice in your head saying, maybe you're exaggerating, maybe it's not so bad. When you grab your car keys with hands trembling so much they almost fall off. Throw what you can into a suitcase without even looking, and walk out the door, knowing there's no turning back. It's 2 a.m. on Highway 40. The road is almost empty. Only the occasional truck passing by, its headlights cutting through the darkness for seconds before disappearing again. And then he sees it. An old, silver Honda Civic, its right headlight broken, casting an asymmetrical light on the road. Driving too slowly to be normal, 15 miles under the speed limit. Too erratic to be safe, swerving slightly, correcting, as if the driver were fighting with the steering wheel or with his thoughts. Sheriff Ryan Coltrane has made 1,000 stops like this. 1,000 suspicious cars on empty nights. The protocol is simple. Lights, brief siren, wait for it to stop, approach cautiously. Routine, muscle memory, from 20 years of doing the same job. He turns on the lights. The car takes a while to react. Tid continues driving for perhaps 400 meters, before finally swerving onto the shoulder. And this delay, it says something. It says the driver is panicking, undecided, considering whether to flee or obey. Ryan pulls up behind radio's dispatcher. Unit 7 making a traffic stop. Highway 40, mile marker 23. Silver Honda Civic, license plate. He squints in the darkness. Charlie Romeo Lima, -4, -9, -2. Received, Unit 7. Ryan gets out of the patrol car. His hand instinctively checks his weapon in its holster, not because he expects trouble, but because caution keeps police officers alive. He approaches from the driver's side. He knocks on the window with his knuckles. 2 firm knocks. Good evening, Sheriff Coltrane. License and registration, please. The window slowly rolls down, and Ryan sees young woman, early 20s perhaps. Dark hair tied in a loose ponytail. Face with obvious signs of crying red, swollen eyes, mascara smudged on her cheeks, and pregnant. Visibly, 5, 6 months, maybe. But it's not appearance that makes Ryan pause. It's expression. He worked long enough to know the difference between the normal nervousness of being stopped by the police and Tyrone nervousness is like, damn, I hope I don't get a ticket. Terror is like, please God, don't let this be the end. And this woman, she's terrified. Mrs. Ryan automatically softens his tone. License and registration. I don't have it. Her voice trembled. Not just nervous, broken, as if each word cost her physical effort. I mean, I have a license, but the registration it's in his name. My husband's, and I can't. She doesn't finish. She just looks at Ryan with an expression he knows. The expression of a cornered animal deciding whether to fight or flee. Ryan looks past her, inside the car, and he sees the passenger seat is empty, except for an open purse, its contents partially spilled. The back seat has a suitcase, not neatly arranged, just thrown there. Clothes spilling out from the poorly closed edges. And on the floor, a box of tissues, several balls of used paper, evidence of prolonged crying. Stay with me until the end, because what happens on this empty road will change to lives forever. Ma'am, are you injured? Ryan asks, crouching slightly to be at her level, not threatening. Do you need medical assistance? No. Too fast, too defensive. I'm not hurt, physically. Physically, a word that carries worlds of meaning. May I ask where you're going at 2 a.m? With a suitcase in the back seat, she looks ahead, not at Ryan, as if admitting the truth aloud makes it real in a way she can't undo. Far away. Just far away from here. Who are you running away from? Silence, long, heavy, and then she turns, looks directly at Ryan, and whispers the words that change everything. Please don't send me back. I know how this feels. I know he's probably already called saying I'm confused, that pregnancy hormones have made me unstable, that I'm being dramatic. He's Carter Wells. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him. And nobody will believe me when I say I need to leave, or something bad will happen. But please, please don't force me to come back. Have you ever been through this? Have you ever had to choose between safety and being believed? Have you ever felt such visceral terror that fleeing at 2 a.m. seemed like the only rational option? Ryan stands still, processing. Name on file, Carter Wells. He knows him. Everyone in a small town like this knows him. Owner of Wells Auto Group. Sponsor of the local baseball team. Face on billboards around town. Good man. Pillar of the community. But Ryan also knows statistics. He knows patterns. And he knows that the most dangerous men are often those with the best public reputations. He looks at this woman, pregnant, terrified, fleeing in the middle of the night with a poorly closed suitcase and $200 in her purse, and recognizes something he's seen before. In his sister, in her friends, in dozens of domestic calls throughout his career. Recognize the victim of abuse. Not the kind that leaves obvious scars, but the kind that corrodes you from the inside until nothing is left but fear. And at that moment, Ryan Coltrane makes a decision. Perhaps against protocol, perhaps against orders, but absolutely the right one. Get out of the car, he says. Tom doesn't accept any argument. Grab your bag. You're coming with me. And while she hesitates, processing whether this is salvation or just another form of imprisonment, what none of them yet know is that this routine approach is about to become war against a man who refuses to lose. Because there are seconds in life when everything changes. When a single choice defines an entire trajectory. And for Natalie Brenner, sitting in that old Honda with its engine still running, her hands gripping the steering wheel as if it were the only solid thing in a crumbling world, this is one of those seconds. She looks at Ryan, this uniformed man who could easily be Carter's ally, who could easily believe his version of events, who could destroy her last hope with a phone call, and tries to read his intentions. She tries to see beyond the authority, beyond the badge, to the man beneath. Are you going to take me back to him? Her voice is like a thread, fragile, on the verge of breaking. No, Ryan says with conviction that leaves no room for doubt. I'm going to get you off this road where any other police officer could stop you, and, if your husband has already filed a missing person report, send you straight back. You're coming. With me. To a safe place. Now, how do I know I can trust you? You don't know. But you're considering an alternative. Stay here. Keep driving without a plan, without enough money, without anywhere to go. How long until you run out of fuel? Until another police officer stops you? Until Carter finds you? The words cut because they are true. Natalie ran away without a real plan. Just instinct, screaming, get out now, or you'll never have the courage again. She has $240, half a tank, and terror that grows with each passing minute, imagining Carter waking up, realizing she's gone, exploding in a rage she knows all too well. If something like this has ever happened to you, if you've ever been in that impossible moment where you have to choose between trusting a stranger or returning to known danger, share it in the comments. Because these experiences matter. These stories need to be heard. And you're not alone. Natalie makes a decision. She turns off the engine with her still trembling hand. She opens the door. Her body moves like an automaton, muscle memory, taking over when her mind is too overwhelmed to process. She goes to the back seat, grabs her suitcase. It's too light. Evidence of how much she left behind. Clothes thrown hastily. Toothbrush. Photo of her mother. Nothing else. No important documents. Carter keeps everything locked away. No jewelry, he controlled even that. Only the bare essentials for survival. Ryan opens the back door of the vehicle, a kind gesture. Not as an arrest, as protection. Natalie enters. The smell of a police car, interior faux leather, a faint odor of disinfectant, the residue of 1,000 other people's stories in crisis. She sits down, places her bag beside her, and closes her eyes for a moment, allowing the exhaustion of hours of adrenaline to finally register. Ryan returns to the driver's seat. He starts the engine, but he doesn't drive immediately. He turns to look at her through the partition. "What's your name?" "Natalie. Natalie Brenner." Pause. "Wells now, technically, but I don't want to be Wells anymore. Natalie, I'll be direct. I can't hide you indefinitely. It's not right, but I can give you tonight. A safe place to sleep, think, make a real plan. Tomorrow, we'll talk about options. Restraining order, shelter, legal resources. But tonight, you get to rest. Do you agree?" Tears streamed down her face. Not tears of sadness, tears of relief so intense, it was physical. "Why? Are you doing this? You don't even know me." "Because I've seen this before. I've seen women die because the system failed to protect them until it was too late. And I don't want to see it again if I can prevent it." If this part resonated with you, if you felt the weight of this decision, choosing to protect against protocol, choosing to believe when it would be easier to doubt, leave a like. Because this engagement shows me that it's worthwhile to tell stories like this. That they resonate, that they matter. Ryan drives, not to the police station. He knows that protocol takes over there. Questions will be asked. Reports need to be filled out. And if Carter has already called, the pressure to return the worried wife will be immense. Instead, he drives to a motel on the edge of town. Pineview Motor Lodge. Discreet place. The kind that charges cash per night and doesn't ask many questions. The parking lot is almost empty. Only 2 cars beyond them. Ryan parks away from the main street, a position that offers visibility but not exposure. "Wait here. I'll get you a room." He leaves. He enters the small office where the night attendant, a man in his 60s, with the TV tuned to an old baseball game, barely looks up. "I need a room. One night. Maybe more. $80. Ryan pays with his own money. He receives a key with the number 14 engraved on worn plastic. He returns to the car. He opens the door for Natalie. Room 14. Second floor. Parking lot view, not street view. Safer. They climb the outside staircase. Rusty metal creaks under the weight. Natalie clutches her suitcase with both hands now, as if letting go would mean losing her last connection to her identity. Ryan opens the door. The room is exactly what you'd expect. A double bed with a faded bedspread, an old TV screwed to the wall, a tiny but clean bathroom. It's not luxurious, but it's safe, anonymous. A place Carter Wells won't be looking. Lock the door. Ryan hands over the key. "Don't open it. For anyone except me. And this," he writes a number on a piece of paper, "is my personal cell phone. Anything you call. It doesn't matter what time it is. Understood?" Natalie takes the paper as if it were a precious document. "Thank you. I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank us. Just rest. Tomorrow we'll start solving this for real." Ryan leaves. The door closes, and Natalie is alone for the first time in hours. She locks the door. Chain. Latch. Then she checks the window lock too. Curtain closed. Only then does she allow her body to collapse. She sits on the edge of the bed and cries. Not the silent crying she practiced for years, so as not to provoke Carter, but deep sobs that come from such a deep place that it physically hurts. She cries for 3 lost years, for the woman she used to be, a teacher with dreams, friends, autonomy, for her gradual transformation into a shadow, for every time she believed Carter when he said, "That's because I love you," while isolating her. For every time she doubted her own perception when he said, "You're exaggerating." And she cries with relief, because she's out, finally out. But relief is tempered with terror, because she knows Carter. She knows his fury when control is threatened, and she knows he won't let this go. If you want to follow more stories like this, stories about survival, about protection coming when least expected, about what happens when someone finally believes. Subscribe to the channel because Natalie's journey is only just beginning, and you'll want to know what happens when Carter finds out where she is. Natalie eventually stops crying. Exhaustion overcomes emotion. She takes off her shoes, lies down on the bed fully clothed, and for the first time in months, maybe years, she sleeps without fear of waking up to the sound of a door opening, to Carter's presence, checking if she's really asleep, to the feeling of being constantly watched. She sleeps, knowing the door is locked, that someone believes her, that tonight, at least, she is safe. But what she doesn't know, what she can't know, while she finally rests is that Carter has already realized she's gone. That he's already called the police reporting his confused wife missing. That he's already begun constructing a narrative of a man worried about his mentally unstable wife. And the war for her freedom is only just beginning. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because to understand the terror in Natalie's eyes on that road at 2 a.m, you need to understand who she was before Carter, before believing that love meant completely erasing herself, before confusing control with care and isolation with protection. Natalie Brenner, 26 years old, 6 months pregnant. But 3 years ago, just 3, though it feels like a lifetime, she was a completely different person. She was a second-grade teacher at Riverside Elementary, the kind of teacher kids adored because she turned reading into an adventure, math into a game, and every day into a discovery. She had plans, a master's degree in special education, maybe opening her own tutoring center someday, and definitely her own apartment instead of sharing with 2 roommates. She had friend Sarah, whom she'd known since college, Jen, from the gym, a reading group that met every Tuesday. She had family parents who called on Sundays, a younger brother who annoyed her but whom she loved. She had the voice, and then he met Carter Wells. It was at a charity event for the school, a silent auction where local businesses donated items and all the funds went to the school library. Carter was their generous donation from his dealership, a smile that lit up the room, a charm that made everyone around him gravitate naturally. He saw her across the room, and he decided, simple as that. He saw her, he decided, he conquered her. He approached with the confidence of a man accustomed to getting what he wants. Are you a teacher here? I saw you organizing everything. Impressive. I am. Natalie. She extended her hand, professionally. Carter Wells, and Natalie, I have a proposition. Let me take you out to dinner later. To celebrate the success of tonight. I don't know. We barely know each other exactly for that reason. Dinner, public place, just conversation. If you hate it, you never have to see me again. She laughed. Because there was something disarming about his straightforward manner. Something that seemed honest instead of predatory. Okay, dinner. That dinner turned into a second, then a third. And Carter was perfect, thoughtful in a way Natalie had never experienced. Flowers delivered to her work, not occasionally, but every week, just because. Text messages throughout the day. Thinking of you. Hope the class is behaving. Can't wait to see you tonight. He remembered details, that she preferred lilies to roses, that she loved Thai cuisine, that she dreamed of visiting Greece. And each piece of information became a gesture. Lilies on Monday morning, when she mentioned that Mondays were difficult. A reservation at the new Thai restaurant before she even ordered. A book about Greek mythology because I know she loves those stories. It was a whirlwind. The kind of romance books described by Natalie, who had spent 23 years being a practical and cautious person, allowed herself to be swept away. 6 months. 6 months of intense, overwhelming, consuming courtship. And Carter proposed. Not a simple proposal. He produced a complete event, an entire rented restaurant, elaborate decorations, a photographer capturing every moment, a ring that cost more than Natalie's annual salary. Marry me, let me take care of you for the rest of your life. She said yes. How could she not? He was everything that seemed good, Successful, generous, passionate, and she was in love too. Or what she believed to be love at the time. The wedding was quick. 3 months of planning. Carter insisted, "Why wait when we know it's right?" And Natalie agreed, ignoring a small voice saying that perhaps she should take it slower, get to know him better. And then came the honeymoon. 2 weeks in Greece, dream come true for her. It should have been perfect. But it was there that the first signs appeared. Carter didn't like it when Natalie wanted to explore alone in the morning. "Why do you need time alone? We just got married. We should be together." Carter became annoyed when she chatted at length with a waiter who was recommending local restaurants. "You were flirting. Do you know how that makes me look?" Carter checked her phone playfully. "Just curious about what my wife talks about when I'm not around. Small things, explainable individually, but a pattern is starting." When they returned, changes accelerated. Carter suggested she should stop working. "You don't need to anymore. I can take care of you. And honestly, teaching is stressful. I don't want to see you exhausted every day." Natalie initially resisted. "I love teaching. It's my career. It was your career. Now you're my wife. Isn't that enough?" The way he said it, not aggressively, but hurt, made Natalie feel guilty, as if working was a rejection from him. So she agreed. Temporarily, she thought. Just until she adjusted to married life. Then came female friends. Sarah called to schedule a happy hour. Natalie mentioned it to Carter. "Oh, Sarah, the one who was always jealous of your success. Do you really want to spend time with that kind of negative energy?" "Sarah isn't jealous, honey. I'm just worried about you. Negative people drain you. And you deserve nothing but positivity." Natalie canceled. Then she canceled again. After the 5th time, Sarah stopped calling. Family was close. The Sunday visits that Natalie always made became a source of tension. "Your parents clearly don't approve of me. Do you see how your father looks at me? And your mother is always making passive-aggressive comments. They don't do that. They do. And it hurts that you don't defend me. We're a team now. Or we should be." Gradually, visits decreased. Phone calls became shorter. Natalie kept saying she was busy, that married life was an adjustment, and that she would see them soon. And at every step, Carter presented it as love, as protection, as care. "I just want you to be happy. I just want to protect you from people who don't value you. I just want us to have a life of our own, without interference." And Natalie believed him, because he was so convincing, so consistent, and because when you're on the inside, when changes come gradually, you don't realize you're being isolated until you're completely alone. After a year of marriage, Natalie wasn't working. She didn't see friends. She rarely spoke to her family. She spent her days in the large house Carter had bought, our castle, he called it, though it never felt like hers. She cooked, she cleaned, she waited for Carter to come home from work. And when he arrived, his mood dictated the entire night. If he was happy, the night was good. If he was stressed, Natalie walked on eggshells, trying not to provoke him. And then came the pregnancy. Unplanned. The pill failed, or she forgot to take it one day she doesn't even remember anymore. But when the test came back positive, Natalie felt something she hadn't felt in months. Pure joy. Not mediated by Carter's reaction, just her own. She told him that night. She prepared a special dinner. She bought tiny shoes and put them in a wrapped box. Carter opened the door. She looked. And for a moment, just a moment, she saw something in his face that she couldn't identify. Not happiness. Something more calculated. Then, he smiled. "We're pregnant. This is wonderful, darling. I'm going to be a father." But something changed. If Carter was possessive before, now he had become absolute. He wouldn't allow her to go out without him. "You're carrying my child. You need protection." He meticulously checked what she ate with obsessive precision. "This has too much sodium. You know you can't have it." For the baby's sake, he talked about the future as if Natalie were an incubator, not a person. "When my son is born, my heir, My baby, never ours, always mine. And when Natalie, at 5 months old, mentioned that she might want to go back to work after the baby was born, not full-time, maybe part-time, just to maintain a connection with her identity beyond being a mother, Carter exploded. He didn't scream. Carter rarely screamed. Worse, he froze, controlled, terrifying in his calmness. You're not going anywhere. Understand, this baby is mine. You are mine. And if you ever try to leave, I guarantee you'll never see this child again. I have resources, lawyers, connections, and you have nothing. No job, no money of your own. No friends who still care. You are completely dependent on me, and it will remain that way. It was at that moment, those words spoken with absolute certainty, that Natalie finally saw the truth. She wasn't getting married, she was in prison. And Carter wasn't her husband, he was her jailer. She began planning her escape that night, hiding $20 here, 10 there, whenever Carter gave her money for groceries. Keeping it in an old sock at the bottom of a drawer. It took her weeks to accumulate $240, a pathetic amount, but all she had. And then, that night, the night Carter arrived, drunk and angry. The night he pushed her when she asked if she was okay. The night she fell and for terrifying seconds, thought she was going to lose the baby Natalie knew. Now or never. She waited until he was asleep. She grabbed her suitcase. She threw out what she could. And she left. No plan, no destination, just movement, just escape. And now, here it is. Cheap motel, safe for the night. But tomorrow, next week, how do you rebuild your life when the man you loved is also the man who destroyed you? Comment below. This makes sense to me. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because what makes Natalie's story so devastating isn't just what Carter did. It's what everyone else did. No, they did it. It's how the entire system, family, friends, institutions designed to protect, failed when she finally found the courage to ask for help. Natalie's first attempt to seek help happened 3 months before that nighttime escape. Was 3 months pregnant, suffering from terrible morning sickness. And Carter had just informed her not, asked for her to help her, informed that she no longer went to prenatal appointments alone. I don't trust doctors who don't tell me everything I need to know. That afternoon, while Carter was at work, Natalie picked up the phone with trembling hands. She searched domestic violence helpline. She found a number. She dialed before her courage evaporated. She answered on the third ring. Female voice, professional but kind. Support line. How can I help? I don't know if I'm calling the right place. My husband doesn't hit me, but he controls everything. Where I go, who I talk to, what I eat. He doesn't let me work. He's isolated me from everyone. And now I'm pregnant, and he acts like the baby is his property, and I'm scared. But I don't have any marks. I don't have any proof. Just fear. Pause. Then, I understand the situation is difficult, but our organization offers shelter for victims of domestic violence. Without documented physical violence or verifiable direct threat, we cannot offer a place. We have limited resources. I suggest seeking couples counseling. Many marital problems can be resolved with proper communication. Natalie felt something die inside her. This isn't a communication problem. It's control. It's abuse. I understand your frustration. But without a specific incident that we can document, there's not much we can do. I'm sorry. The call ended. And Natalie stood there, holding the phone, feeling the weight of not being abused enough to deserve help. The second attempt was with his mother. A Sunday call, one of the few that Carter still allowed, as long as he was present and could listen. But that Sunday, Carter was in the shower. 10 minutes, maybe 15. Natalie picked up the phone and dialed before overthinking it. Mom, it's me. Natalie. What a surprise. You usually call later. I know. Mom, I need to talk to you quickly. Carter is in the shower, and I don't have much time. Her breathing quickened. I'm not okay. My marriage isn't okay. Carter is. He controls me. He won't let me go out. He won't let me work. He's isolated me from everyone. And I'm scared. I need help. I need Natalie. Darling, breathe. You're pregnant. Hormones do strange things. All marriages have an adjustment period. This isn't hormones. This is real. Mom, he threatened me. He said if I try to leave, I'll never see my baby. Again, all couples argue. They say things they don't mean in the heat of the moment. Carter is a good man. He provides so well for you. Beautiful house, financial security. Maybe you're being a little sensitive. Sensitive, Natalie's voice rose. Mom, I'm telling you, I'm in danger. Danger. Natalie, you sound hysterical. Maybe you should talk to your obstetrician about prenatal anxiety. There are medications. The sound of the shower stopping. Panic set in. I need to go. Forget it. I called Natalie. Wait. She hung up. Carter came out of the bathroom moments later. He looked at her. Who was on the phone? Nobody. Telemarketing. He didn't believe it, but he didn't press him. Not at that moment. He just made a mental note. One more thing to monitor. The third attempt was with Sarah, Natalie's former best friend, whom she hadn't spoken to in over a year. It was an impulse, desperation. Natalie saw an old photo on Facebook, she and Sarah at graduation, arms intertwined, smiling, when life was simple. When Natalie was still a complete person, she texted, Sarah, it's me. I know it's been a while, but I need help, please. The reply came 3 hours later. Natalie, wow, it's been over a year. You completely cut me off. Stopped replying to messages, canceled plans repeatedly, disappeared, and now you reappear because you need something. I know how it feels, but Carter, he wouldn't let me see you. He said you were a bad influence. And eventually it was easier to stop trying. But Sarah, I need you now. I'm pregnant and trapped, and I don't know what to do. Natalie, I'm sorry for what you're going through, honestly, but I can't get involved. I have my own life, work, relationship, and being in the middle of marital drama is not something I can do. It's not drama, it's abuse. You chose to marry him. You chose to cut us all off. And now you want us to come running back because you realized it was a mistake. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Sarah blocked her after the message, and Natalie stared at the screen, realizing the isolation Carter had created had worked perfectly. She had no one. Because when you cut people off, gradually, even when it's not a choice, even when it's coercion, they don't wait to understand the context. They just move on. The fourth and most devastating attempt was at the local police station. Natalie waited until Carter left for a business meeting in a neighboring town. She waited until she was sure he was far away. Then she took the car keys. He never took them, only obsessively monitored the odometer and drove to the small police station downtown. Officer Duncan was at the counter. A man in his 50s, gray mustache, an acquaintance of Carter's. Everyone in town knew Carter. Hello, Mrs. Wells. What can I do for you? I need to report the situation. My husband, he's controlling me. He threatened me. He said that if I leave, he'll take the baby away from me. And I'm afraid of what he might do. Duncan looked at her, his expression shifting from professional to skeptical. Did your husband physically hurt you? No. I mean, he pushed me once. But it didn't leave a mark. Did he threaten you directly, with violence? Threatened to abort the baby. This is a custody matter. Civil, not criminal. Duncan crossed his arms. Mrs. Wells, I know your husband. Carter is a pillar of this community. He sponsors a youth baseball team. He donates to the fire department. He has an impeccable reputation. And you're coming here, pregnant, making serious accusations without evidence. These are not accusations. It's the truth. Perhaps you're having marital problems. Understandable. Pregnancy is stressful. But making false accusations that could ruin the reputation of a good man, that's serious. I suggest couples counseling. Or talking to your doctor about anxiety. But I can't do anything about what you're telling me. So what do I need to do? Wait until he hurts me. Until he leaves a mark that can be photographed. Mrs. Wells, don't be dramatic. Your husband is a respected man. If there really were danger, others would have noticed. But everyone says he's a great husband, that he takes such good care of you. Maybe the problem isn't him. Maybe it's how you're perceiving the situation. Institutionalized gaslighting, the system saying, your reality is not valid, your perception is flawed, and a rich and respected man is always more trustworthy than an emotional wife. Natalie left that police station knowing no help was coming, not from the system, not from family, not from friends. She was completely, devastatingly alone. And loneliness, like that loneliness where you cry out for help and no one hears. Or worse, they hear but choose not to believe, erodes something fundamental. It makes you question your own sanity. Because if everyone says you're wrong, that you're exaggerating, that you're being too sensitive, too dramatic, too hormonal, eventually you start to believe it. Natalie spent weeks after that day doubting herself. Maybe mom is right. Maybe it's hormones. Maybe Carter isn't so bad. Maybe the problem is me. But then came the night when Carter arrived drunk. When he pushed her. When she fell. When fear was no longer theoretical but visceral. And Natalie knew it wasn't hormones. It wasn't sensitivity. It was real danger. And the system had completely failed. So she did the only thing left to do. She ran away. Without help. Without a safety net. Just her survival instinct, screaming, either leave or die. And now she's in a cheap motel, temporarily protected by a man who is the first in months, maybe years, to truly listen. To believe without demanding physical marks as proof. To see terror as valid, not a symptom of instability. But how long will this protection last? How long until Carter uses the same connections, the same reputation, the same charm that always worked, to win back his confused wife? Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because the moment where Ryan Coltrane really fiznally, not as a traffic stop statistic, but as a human being in real danger, is a moment that changes both their trajectories. And to understand the impact of this decision, you need to understand who Ryan is, what he knows, what he carries. Ryan has been on night patrol for 20 years, since he was 25, when he was too young to fully understand the weight the badge would carry. Now, at 45, he knows the deserted roads of this region better than he knows his own home. He knows every curve of Highway 40, every accident spot, every mile marker where stories end or begin. 2 in the morning is a strange time. It's neither the deepest night when only night shift workers are driving, nor the early morning when the world is beginning to wake up. It's a temporal limbo, a time when people do things they wouldn't do in daylight. Ryan sees the car before deciding to stop. A silver Honda Civic, an older model maybe, 2010. The right headlight is broken, casting an asymmetrical light that makes the car look damaged, and he's driving slowly. Not just cautiously, slowly 15 miles below the speed limit. As if the driver were lost, or delaying arrival somewhere, or making up a decision. An instinct that Ryan developed over 2 decades tells him something is wrong. Not necessarily criminal, but wrong. He turns on the lights, red and blue cutting through the darkness, and observes the reaction. The car doesn't stop immediately. It keeps driving. 100 meters, 200, 300. Ryan feels the tension growing. Are you going to run away? Do I need to call for backup? But then the hazard lights come on. The car swerves onto the shoulder. It stops. Delay indicates something. Not active resistance, but hesitation. As if the driver were having an internal conversation. Stop or run. Trust or flee. Ryan pulls up behind. Dispatch calls. Unit 7, traffic stop. Highway 40 mile 23. Silver Civic, license plate. He squints. Charlie-Romeo-Lima-4-9-2. Double quotes, received. Unit 7, Ryan gets out. An autopilot takes over, mental weapon check, flashlight, positioning that keeps him partially covered by the patrol car door. Precautions that have saved the lives of countless police officers. He approaches. From the driver's side, flashlight briefly illuminating the interior. He sees a person, a woman, alone. Hands on the steering wheel, a position that indicates she knows protocol or is too terrified to move. Ryan knocks on the window. The firm knocks. Good evening. Sheriff Coltrane. License and registration, please. The window rolls down, slowly, manually, without an electric button, and a face appears. Young woman, early 20s, dark hair, and pregnant her belly, visible even when sitting. But it's her face that makes Ryan pause. Marks from recent crying, smudged mascara, red and swollen eyes. But it's not crying that triggers the alarm in Ryan's brain, it's expression. He worked for 20 years. He stopped thousands of drivers. And he learned to read micro-expressions in seconds. Normal nervousness in a traffic stop includes avoidant gaze, fidgeting, quick explanations, official excuse, I didn't realize the speed. Guilt is excessive politeness, elaborate excuses. But terror is different. It's eyes that assess threat above all else. It's a posture that instinctively recoils. It's a voice that trembles not from social nervousness, but from visceral fear. And this woman, she's terrified. Mrs. Ryan's tone softens automatically, not intimidating authority. Gentle, concerned. License and registration. I don't have it. She swallows, her voice breaking. I mean, I have a license, but the registration it's in his name. My husband's, and I can't go back to get it, and it doesn't end. Hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly that our knuckles are white. Ryan looks past her. Inside the car he sees. The passenger seat has an open bag. The contents are partially spilled. Wallet, keys, cell phone with a cracked screen. The back seat has a suitcase, not packed, thrown aside, clothes spilling over the edge. And on the passenger floor, an almost empty tissue box, used tissues piled up. The scene tells a story, a hurried escape, prolonged crying. No plan beyond movement. Everything's fine, Ryan says, lowering his flashlight so as not to blind her. Breathe. Are you hurt? Do you need medical assistance? No. Quick, defensive. I'm not hurt. Physically. Physically, a word that carries a library of implications. I am not physically injured. It means I am wounded in other ways. Ways that don't show up on X-rays. Ways that no one believes without seeing them. Ryan knows that word. He's heard it on dozens of home calls. He didn't hit me, officer, but there's always a but. There's always invisible damage. May I ask where you're going at 2 a.m? She finally looks at him. Really looks. Assessing him. Can I trust it, or will it be like all the others? Far away. The voice is a whisper. Just far away from here. Far away from him. Who are you running away from? Pause. Long pause, as if saying a name aloud evokes presence. My husband. Did he hurt you? Not in the way you think. Not with fists. But tears begin again. He controls me. He isolated me. He threatened me. He said that if I leave, he'll take the baby away from me. And I'm scared. Very scared. But I went to the police before, and they said they couldn't help without physical evidence. And I went to my family and they said I'm exaggerating and she's falling apart. Sobs that come from a place too deep to contain. Ryan feels a tightening in his chest. Recognition, not just professional, personal, because he has a sister, Jenna, 3 years younger. And 10 years ago, Jenna called, crying, saying she needed to get out of the relationship. That her boyfriend was controlling, possessive, threatening. Ryan didn't fully believe it. He knew the guy, he seemed normal, nice, even. And Ryan said things that now haunt him. Maybe you're being sensitive. All couples fight. Maybe give it more time. Jenna tried to give it more time. 3 months later, she was in the hospital. Broken jaw, fractured ribs. Boyfriend lost control. Ryan almost lost his sister because he didn't believe her when the signs were still invisible. He looks at this woman, pregnant, terrified, begging to be believed, and makes a silent promise. Not again. I won't fail again. Ma'am, what's your name? Natalie. Natalie Brenner. Wells now. But I don't want to be Wells anymore. Natalie, who is your husband? Hesitation. Carter Wells. Name registered. Ryan knows him. Everyone knows him. Wells Auto Group. Constant commercials on local radio. Billboards all over town. Event sponsor. Good guy. But Ryan also knows statistics. The most dangerous abusers often have impeccable reputations. Because public charm is a mask. And the better the mask, the worse the monster underneath. And does Carter know you left? No. He was sleeping. Drunk. I waited and ran away. But when he wakes up, when he realizes, he'll look for me. He'll call the police saying I'm confused, unstable, that pregnancy has driven me crazy. And everyone will believe it because he is. Carter Wells and I am nobody. Her voice breaks completely. Please don't send me back. I know. It sounds crazy. I know I have no proof. But if you come back, something bad will happen. I'm sorry. And nobody believes it, but it's true and I believe. 2 words. Simple. But the impact is seismic. Natalie stops talking. She looks at Ryan as if she hadn't heard correctly. What? I believe in you. And I'm not going to send you back. Comment below. This makes sense to me. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because the moment when Ryan really decides to break protocol, risk his career, intervene in a way the manual would never teach us, the moment that separates a rule-following police officer from a man who does the right thing. And those 2 things aren't always the same. Ryan stands beside Natalie's car for seconds that feel like minutes. His mind races through options. Protocol is clear. Check license. If she doesn't have a record, he can cite her for driving without proper documentation. If she mentions her husband, he can ask if she's been reported missing. If so, he must return person safely home. Simple, clean, no complications. But Ryan looks at her, at the utter terror in those eyes, at her trembling hands, at the posture of someone who has been rejected so many times that she barely dared to ask for help again, and he knows protocol here is a death sentence. Maybe not immediate, but eventually. Natalie, he says, decisively, do you have somewhere to go? Family, friends, shelter? No. My family doesn't believe me. My friends, I haven't spoken to them in over a year. Carter made sure of that. Her voice is hollow. I thought about just driving until I got to another city. Any city far from here. Starting over. How much money? She grabs her purse, opens it with hands that are still trembling, takes out her wallet, shows it, crumpled bills. She counts them. $240. Ryan feels a tightness in his chest. $240. His entire life reduced to that. It won't get you far. A full tank lasts maybe 300 miles. Then you need fuel, food, a place to sleep. And if you're pregnant, you need regular medical care. $240 doesn't cover a week. So what do? Do I go back? Do I wait for him to kill me or take the baby? No. Ryan is firm. But driving without a plan isn't the solution. And Natalie, if the car is in his name, panic flashed across her face. It is. Everything is in his name. House, cars, bills. He said it was for protection, to take care of me. But it was control. It's always been control. So technically, he can report the car as stolen, and any police officer who stops you will check. If it shows up as a stolen vehicle, they arrest me. A cruel realization, or they send me back to him. Either way, I lose. Ryan makes a decision. One that will probably cost him. Which captain will you question? One that might violate half a dozen regulations, but one that is absolutely right. Get out of the car, grab your suitcase, come with me. What? Natalie looks confused. Are you going to arrest me? No. I'm going to get you off this road where any other police officer could stop you. And if your husband has already filed a report, send you straight back. You're coming with me to a safe place now. But I'm not asking, Natalie. I'm telling you. Get out now. Authority in her voice, but not threatening, protective. A tone that says, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Natalie hesitates, and then she sees headlights approaching on the highway. Still distant, but coming, and panic sets in. What if it's Carter? What if he's already awake, realized what he's doing, and is looking for something? She opens the door. She almost falls as she gets out, her legs numb from driving for hours, in a state of terror. Ryan steadies her with his hand on her elbow. Gentle, non-invasive, suitcase. Bring everything you need. Natalie goes to the back seat. She picks up her suitcase. It's light. Pathetic how light it is. Evidence of how much she left behind. How much she lost. How much she didn't have the courage to take while she was fleeing. Ryan guides her to the police car. He opens the back door. And Natalie hesitates again, because the back seat of a police car is where criminals sit, where arrested people go. It's not prison, Ryan says softly, reading the hesitation. It's transport. For safety. I promise. She enters. The smell of a police car, interior synthetic leather, a faint odor of disinfectant, the metal of the partition grate, confined space. But for the first time in hours, Natalie feels something resembling safety. Ryan closes the door. He goes back to her car. He locks it. He takes the keys. He puts them in his pocket. I'll park your car in a discreet place. We'll deal with this tomorrow. He calls the dispatcher. Unit 7. Full stop. Driver released with verbal warning about traffic light. Following patrol. Received. Unit 7. Technical lie. Strategic. Omission. The first of many that Ryan will pull tonight. He gets into the car. He looks in the rearview mirror. Natalie is leaning against the seat, eyes closed, hand on her stomach in an unconscious, protective gesture. Exhausted. Beyond exhausted. Where are we going? She asks, without opening her eyes. A safe place, where you can rest, think, and make real plans. Police station. No. Motel. Discreet. Where nobody is looking. Why? Now, she opens her eyes. She looks at him through the bars. Why are you doing this? You don't even know me. What if I'm lying? What if Carter is right and I'm crazy? Ryan drives in silence for a moment. Then, I've been working for 20 years. I've seen hundreds of parades, thousands of people, and I've learned to read terror, to distinguish real fear from nervousness. And Natalie, you're not nervous, you're terrified. This isn't fear of a traffic ticket, it's fear of something much worse. But what if? And I have a sister, Jenna, 10 years ago, she called me. She said her boyfriend was controlling, that she was scared, and I didn't completely believe her. I said maybe she was exaggerating, that she should give it more time. His voice hardens. 3 months later, she was in the hospital, broken jaw, fractured ribs. She almost died because I didn't believe her when the signs were still invisible. Heavy silence. Then no, Ryan continues, you're not lying, and I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. If Carter is half of what you say, then you need protection. And if the system doesn't offer it, I do. Simple as that. Tears stream down Natalie's face. Not tears of sadness. Tears of relief so intense it hurts. They drive for 15 minutes, leaving the highway, turning onto back roads, until they reach a small motel on the edge of town. Pine View Motor Lodge. Neon lights, flashing vacancy. The kind of place that accepts cash and doesn't ask questions. Ryan parks. Wait here. He enters the small office. The night attendant, an old man watching TV, barely looks up. Ryan pays $80 a night out of his own money. He receives a key with the number 14. He goes back to the car. He opens the back door. Room 14, second floor, parking lot view. Safer than street view. They climb the external metal staircase. It creaks under the weight. Natalie follows, holding her suitcase with both hands. Ryan opens the door. The room is basic. A double bed with a faded floral bedspread, an old TV, a tiny but clean bathroom. It's not luxurious, but it's private, anonymous, safe. Lock the door. Chain 2. Curtains closed. Ryan hands over the key. And this. He writes a number on a scrap of paper torn from a notepad. Is my personal cell phone. Anything you call. It doesn't matter what time. 3 in the morning, noon, whenever you need to. Understood. Natalie picks up the paper as if it were a sacred document. I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank me. Just rest. And tomorrow, in a few hours, actually we'll talk about next steps. Restraining order, permanent shelter, lawyer, resources that actually work. What if Carter has already called the police? What if they're already searching? Then I'll deal with it. But tonight, you sleep. Safe. Without fear. Okay? She nods. She doesn't trust her voice to speak. Ryan leaves. The door closes behind him, and Natalie is left alone. She locks the door, tests the doorknob 3 times, then the chain, then checks the window locked, curtain closed. Only then does she allow her body to acknowledge exhaustion. She sits on the edge of the bed and cries. Not loud sobs. The silent cry of someone who has held it in for so long that she finally breaks down when she can do it. She cries for 3 lost years. For the woman she used to be. For her transformation into a shadow. For every moment she doubted her own sanity because Carter said she was exaggerating. And she cries with relief. Because someone believed. Finally, someone saw terror and didn't question it. Didn't downplay it. Didn't say, maybe it's hormones. I just believe. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because what happens in the hours following Ryan's decision isn't just a matter of broken protocol. It's a revelation of how quickly the system can turn against the victim when the abuser knows how to play the game right. And Carter Wells, he knows all the rules, all the tactics, all the right words to transform a legitimate escape into a mental crisis. Ryan leaves Natalie in the room, door locked, curtains drawn, his number in her hand like a lifeline. And he returns to the patrol car, feeling the weight of the decision he made. Not regret, but the recognition that he crossed the line, and there's no going back. He barely starts the engine when the radio crackles. Unit 7, are you on the frequency? Affirmative. Unit 7, we have a situation. Please return to base. Captain Webb wants to speak with you. Urgent. Ryan's stomach tightens. He already knows. Carter already called. On my way. 20 minutes to the police station. 20 minutes where Ryan prepares his arguments. He decides how much to reveal, how much to omit, how to protect Natalie without appearing to obstruct the investigation. The precinct is quiet. 3 in the morning. Only a minimal number of night shift personnel. But the captain's office is lit, and when Ryan enters, Webb isn't alone. He has a man with him, a civilian, an expensive suit, even at 3 in the morning. Perfectly combed hair, a carefully calibrated expression of concern. Carter Wells. Coltrane Webb says, "This is Carter Wells. He reported his wife missing. He wanted to speak personally with the night patrol." Ryan looks at Carter, and he sees exactly what Natalie described. Superficial charm, a mask of a worried man, but something in his eyes, a calculated coldness that doesn't match his expression. "Mr. Wells." Ryan maintains a neutral tone. "I understand that your wife is missing." "Yes, Natalie. She's pregnant 6 months and has a history of anxiety. She's been under a lot of stress lately. Hormones. You know how it is." Carter laughs nervously. Performative. "I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. Took the car, some clothes. I'm worried she might hurt herself, or do something reckless." "When did you realize you were gone?" Around 1 in the morning, I woke up and noticed that side of the bed was cold. I looked for the house. The car wasn't in the garage. Did you call her on her phone? Several times. It's turned off. Or the battery is dead. Carter looks at Ryan with studied concern. Sheriff, my wife isn't doing well. Mentally, she's been having episodes. Dr. Harrison, her obstetrician, can confirm severe anxiety, possibly prenatal depression. I've been worried for weeks. Did she mention wanting to leave? Problems in the marriage? Nothing serious. Normal discussions. She's been emotional, sensitive, but I thought it was pregnancy. I didn't imagine that running away was on her mind. Carter leans forward. If you find her, please take her to the hospital for evaluation, not straight home. I need to make sure she and the baby are safe, that she's in an adequate mental state. Mental assessment. Words designed to sow doubt, to make anything Natalie says be questioned as a symptom of instability. Ryan maintains a neutral expression. I understand your concern, Mr. Wells. If we find your wife, we will handle the situation appropriately. Thank you. Honestly, I just want her safe. Carter stands up. He shakes Webb's hand. Then he offers his hand to Ryan. I know you do hard work. I appreciate your dedication. His hand is firm, dry, controlled, not the hand of a genuinely concerned man. The hand of a man throwing paper around. Carter leaves, and as the door closes, Webb turns to Ryan. So, did you see her? Moment of truth? Ryan could lie completely, but lying directly to a superior could be grounds for dismissal. So he offers technical truth. I stopped a traffic stop earlier. Silver Honda Civic. Broken headlight. The driver was a pregnant woman, Natalie Wells. She identified herself as Natalie Brenner. She said she no longer uses Wells. And where is he now? I issued a warning about the headlight. I cleared it. Coltrane, her husband, is worried. He says she's unstable. Did you really let a pregnant woman, possibly in a mental health crisis, drive alone? I assessed the situation. She seemed lucid, scared, but lucid. She posed no risk to herself or others. Ryan maintains a professional tone. There was no legal basis for involuntary detention or transport. Webb says Wells wants her found, wants a medical evaluation. And frankly, if something happens to her or the baby, why don't we act? I understand the concern, but a competent adult has the right to move freely. I cannot detain someone because their husband is worried, not without evidence of imminent danger, he said. She has anxiety, he said it. She didn't confirm it. And anxiety is not grounds for involuntary custody. Webb studies Ryan for a long moment. Are you personally involved in this? Do you know this woman? No, just doing the job properly. Protecting citizens' rights, or protecting her from a legitimate husband who has the right to know where his pregnant wife is. If she wanted him to know, she would have stayed home. Tension hangs between them. Then Webb shakes his head. Keep your eyes open. If you see her again, let me know. And Coltrane, don't let sympathy cloud your judgment. Wells seems genuinely concerned. Noted. Ryan leaves. He goes back to the car and immediately calls Natalie. She answers on the first ring. Ryan. He filed a police report. He reported you as missing. And Natalie. He went to the police station in person. He told the whole story. Unstable wife, anxiety, worry that she might get hurt. Of course, he told. Her voice is empty. Resigned? It's always the same. He's the worried husband. I'm the crazy wife. And everyone believes him because he's so calm, so convincing, and I'm terrified of the man who hurt you. Silence. Then, do you believe me? Even after hearing his version. Especially after hearing his version. It was a performance, Natalie calculated, practiced, and I recognize manipulation when I see it, an audible relief in her breathing. What happens now? Now you stay where you are. And I need to ask. You mentioned that he pushed you 3 weeks ago. I need details. Everything you remember. Natalie takes a deep breath. It was Saturday night. I mentioned that I wanted to visit my mother, that she was asking to see me. And Carter changed. He became cold. He said that mothers were always a problem, always trying to cause division. And when I insisted, said I needed to see her, he pushed. He didn't punch. He just pushed, but hard. I fell. I hit my back. Thank God I didn't. Hurt my stomach, but for a few seconds I thought I would. And he stood over me and said, "See what you make me do. If I weren't so stubborn, this wouldn't have happened." And then, what did he do? He helped me up. He apologized. He said he was stressed from work, that it wasn't him, that he would never do it again. Voice breaks. And I believed him, because I wanted to believe him, because the alternative was admitting I was trapped. Did you seek medical treatment? Yes. The next day, my back ached. Carter insisted on taking me. And at the doctor's office, when he asked what happened, Carter answered first. She tripped on the stairs. She's always been clumsy, but now with the pregnancy. And the doctor looked at me, waiting for confirmation. And Carter was right there, hand on my shoulder, smiling. And I lied. I said I tripped. Is there a record of this visit? Yes. Dr. Morrison, Cedar Clinic, downtown. Okay, this is documentation. It doesn't prove a push, but it establishes that there was a fall. And if we can get a doctor's testimony about Carter's behavior during the consultation, but will the doctor remember? It was a quick consultation 3 weeks ago. Doctors notice patterns, especially when a husband answers for his wife. It's a warning sign. Ryan pauses. Natalie, I need to ask, have there been other incidents? Other times when he was physical? A long silence. Not exactly. But he squeezes. My arm when he's angry. My waist when he wants to move me. It never leaves a mark, but it hurts. And it's an unspoken threat. Like, I can hurt you if I want to. And verbal threats, constant. You're not going anywhere. This baby is mine. If you try to leave, I guarantee you'll never see this child again. Always about the baby. Always about control. Ryan feels cold, controlled anger. Classic pattern. Escalation of control to physical violence. Pregnancy used as leverage. You did the right thing by leaving. Because the pattern only gets worse. It never gets better. But now, he's already painted me as crazy. The system is already on his side. The system is there, but I'm not. Comment below. This makes sense to me. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because what Ryan faces in the following hours is not just a professional decision. It's an internal war between the oath he took to protect and serve and a system that often protects the wrong person, between the badge he wears and a conscience that won't let him rest, and the hidden truth. Sometimes, doing the right thing means breaking rules written by people who never understood the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of justice. Ryan ends the call with Natalie. Stay locked up. Don't answer anyone. I'll be back in the morning. But he won't go home. He can't. His mind is spinning too much. So he drives. Without a destination. Just moving while he processes. The protocol is clear. Crystal clear. Husband reported wife missing. Officer located wife. Next step, return home, or, if there are concerns about mental health, transport to hospital for evaluation. Simple, clean, unambiguous. But Ryan knows, he knows it. Certainly comes from 20 years of observing patterns. That's simple. Here is a sentence. Perhaps not immediately. Perhaps Carter won't kill Natalie today, tomorrow, next week. But violence that began with control, escalated to isolation, manifested in a shove. It doesn't stop, only accelerates. And pregnancy. Pregnancy is a trigger. Statistics that Ryan memorized during domestic violence training are clear. The risk of homicide increases dramatically during pregnancy, because a baby represents a permanent bond, controlled that the abuser can never completely break. And men like Carter hate what they can't control. Ryan parks in an empty lot near the municipal lake. 4 in the morning. The sky is beginning to lighten at the edge, not yet dawn. But that's his promise. And he sits there, engine off, processing. He should have taken Natalie back. Protocol dictates this. The captain will question it, possibly discipline him if he discovers the whole truth. And Carter will pressure him. He'll use his influence. He'll paint Ryan as the officer who kidnapped his unstable wife. And perhaps, technically, he's right. Maybe Ryan knew he crossed the line when he put Natalie in a motel, instead of returning her to her husband or taking her to the hospital. But morally, Ryan knows he did the only right thing, because he's seen the movie before. He knows the ending. He's answered calls where unstable wife ended up in the morgue, where concerned husband cried convincing tears for the cameras, while detectives found evidence of systematic abuse that no one wanted to see while the victim was still breathing. And Ryan made a promise after Jenna, after almost losing his sister because he didn't believe her when the signs were still invisible. He promised, never again. I will never again ignore terror, just because it doesn't come with photographic marks. The phone rings. He sees the answer. Captain Webb, 5 a.m. Too early to be routine. Coltrane, where are you? Ending patrol. Why? Because Carter Wells called again. 3 times in the last hour. He wants to know if we found his wife. He wants updates. And he's starting to mention a lawyer, saying that if the department doesn't help, he's going to take legal action. On what basis? We didn't commit a crime. For failing to return his missing wife when located. For possibly endangering her by leaving her wandering in a questionable mental state. Questionable mental state according to whom? A husband who has the motivation to portray her as unstable. Coltrane, you're making this personal. It's personal. A pregnant woman fleeing at 2 a.m. with $200 is always personal. And if we force a return and something happens, if we force a return and something happens, it's our responsibility too. She could get hurt. The baby could have complications. And then Wells sues the department for negligence. Web size, audible wariness. Ryan, I understand impulse, honestly. But there's protocol for reason. We can't choose which missing persons calls we honor based on instinct. Even when instinct is based on 20 years of experience, recognizing victims of abuse. She said she's being abused. Not in those exact words. But the pattern is there. Isolation, financial control, threats regarding baby custody, and a push 3 weeks ago that she lied to the doctor about why Carter was present during the appointment. Did she tell you that? Try. So it's an allegation, not evidence. And Ryan knows as well as I do. An allegation without corroboration doesn't support a legal action, especially against a man with Wells' reputation. So what? We ignore him because he donates to a baseball team, because he owns a successful car dealership. We're ignoring it because there's no legal basis for intervention. If she wanted a restraining order, she could request it. If she wanted shelter, there are resources available. But officially, husband reported wife missing. There's no allegation of abuse on record. There's no evidence of a crime. Just legitimate concern about a pregnant wife. Legitimate for whom? For us, or for Carter? Tense silence. Then, Coltrane, I'll be direct. If you saw her and didn't report it, you're in violation. If you concealed her location, you're obstructing. And if you continue to get personally involved, I'll have to remove you from patrol duty and put you on administrative duty while I investigate. Investigate me then. Because I'm not going to be responsible for returning a woman to an abuser just because he plays the role of a concerned husband well. Is that your official position? And so consider yourself officially notified. Any further involvement with Natalie Wells without direct supervision is insubordination. Understood. Perfectly. Webb hangs up, and Ryan sits there feeling the weight of his decision. He has effectively crossed a point of no return. The captain will be watching. Carter will be pressuring him, and any wrong move will cost him his badge. But what alternative is there? The alternative is to abandon Natalie, to let her face the system alone. And Ryan simply can't do that. He thinks about Jenna, about how he almost lost her, because he followed protocol instead of instinct, about how it took months in the hospital, years in therapy, for his sister to rebuild herself. And he still carries scars, physical and emotional, that will never completely disappear. And he thinks of all the other women, those he found too late. Domestic calls that ended in the morgue because no one intervened when control was merely psychological, when violence was still just a threat, when there was time to save them. He's not going to add Natalie to that list, no matter the professional cost. Decision made, Ryan drives to the police station, not to report Natalie's location, but to document it. Because if he's going to do this, if he's going to protect her against protocol, he needs to do it right. He writes a report, a detailed one, about the traffic stop, about the risk assessment, about the decision not to return Natalie based on 1. The right of a competent adult to move freely, to the absence of a court order mandating her return. 3. An assessment that she did not pose an imminent danger to herself or others. Technically defensible, but any competent investigator will see omissions. And then Ryan does something that could cost him everything. He calls his lawyer, Linda Reyes, a specialist in domestic violence, an idealist he knows from previous cases. Linda, Ryan Coltrane, sorry for the hour, but I need a favor. Ryan, it's 5:30 in the morning, I know, and I wouldn't call if it weren't urgent. I have a wife, pregnant, fleeing an abusive relationship. Her husband has already reported her as unstable. The system will force her to return if we don't act quickly. She needs a restraining order. Yesterday, Ryan, you know that a restraining order requires due process, a hearing. It doesn't happen yesterday, but is it an emergency? Temporary? Only until a proper hearing. Pause. If there is a demonstrable imminent threat, yes. But I need to talk to her, assess the situation, and she needs to request it, not you. I'll connect her. But Linda, this is real, classic pattern, and escalating. If we don't protect it now, I understand. Send me her contact information. I'll evaluate it. Ryan hangs up. He calls Natalie. Ryan, what happened? Not bad, still safe, but we need to act. Restraining order. Today, I'll connect you with an attorney. Linda Reyes, specialist, pro bono if needed. She will guide you through the process. But Carter will object. He'll say, I'm crazy. Let him try. Because we have something he doesn't expect. Documentation. Medical testimony about the fall. A medical history that you can detail. And the sheriff is willing to testify about his condition when I found him. Would you do that? Even knowing it could cost you your job? It's already cost me. The captain removed me from the case. But he didn't stop me from doing the right thing. Emotional silence. Thank you. I don't know how, no need to thank me. Just survive. And let the system work, this time, properly. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because what happens in the following days isn't just a matter of legal logistics or physical protection. It's something deeper. It's the gradual rebuilding of trust that was systematically destroyed. It's Natalie relearning that her voice matters, that her perception is valid, that she deserves to be heard without interruption or correction. And it's Ryan navigating a delicate line between protector and ally, careful not to replicate the controlling dynamic he's helping her escape. Ryan returns to the motel at 7 in the morning. 3 hours of sleep not enough, but all he could get with his mind racing through strategies, contingency plans, ways to protect Natalie while the system still decides which side it's on. He knocks on the door. 2 knocks. Pause. 2 knocks. A simple code they've established. Natalie, about Ryan. The chain slides, the latch turns, the door opens, and Natalie is their crumpled clothes. She slept in, disheveled hair, deep, hollow dark circles under her eyes, but alive, safe. And for the first time, Ryan sees her, without utter terror in her expression. Did he fall asleep? He asks. A little. Nightmares when I closed my eyes. But she touches the bedroom wall, an almost reverent gesture. It's safe here. First time in months that a locked door means safety instead of imprisonment. Ryan feels a tightening in his chest. I brought breakfast and information. They sit down. He in the only chair, she on the edge of the bed. Ryan places a paper bag between them. I didn't know her preferences, so I got variety. Bagel, muffin, fruit, and decaf coffee because I'm pregnant. Natalie picks up a bagel. First hesitant bite, then a second, more firm one. And Ryan notices. She's starving. When was the last time she ate without fear of criticism? Without Carter monitoring every bite, commenting on weight gain, controlling even her nutrition. Linda Reyes will call within an hour, Ryan says as she eats. She's a lawyer specializing in domestic violence. She assessed the situation and explained the options, but I can give you an overview. He pulls out notes. Option 1, emergency restraining order. Temporary, valid, until full hearing in 10 days. Requires you to detail threats, establish a pattern of abuse, demonstrate reasonable fear. Linda will help fill out forms. May be granted today if judge accepts urgency. Carter will contest it. Of course he will, but contesting, it takes time. And in the meantime, the order keeps him legally at a distance. What if it's violated? Prison. Simple as that. Violating a restraining order is a crime. He has lawyers. They can't prevent arrest for rape. They can mitigate consequences later, but immediate rape results in custody. Ryan continues. Option 2, women's shelter. Safe Haven has a program for victims of domestic violence. Confidential location, support. But he hesitates. The waiting list is 3 weeks, and they don't allow you to stay in a motel while you wait. Then I would go back to the street. No, because there's a third option. You stay here, temporarily, while we organize permanent safeguards. I'll pay for the room for as long as you need. Natalie stops eating. She looks at him. Why would you do this? You've already risked your job. You've already crossed lines. Why continue? Ryan is quiet for a moment. Then, because I can. Because the system is too slow for an urgent situation like yours. And because he meets her eyes. I've already failed to protect someone who mattered. I won't fail again. Your sister, Jenna, 3 years younger. She called 10 years ago saying her boyfriend was controlling, that she was scared. And I said things that haunt me. Maybe you're exaggerating. All couples fight. Give it more time. His voice hardens. 3 months later, she was in the hospital. Broken jaw, 3 fractured ribs, ruptured spleen. She almost died because I didn't believe her when the signs were still just psychological. It wasn't your fault. It was because she asked for help and I offered doubt instead of support. And I learned, when someone says they're afraid, you believe them, always. Silence hangs between them, laden with mutual recognition. 2 people carrying guilt for things they couldn't control, but feeling responsible nonetheless. Has she recovered? Natalie finally asks. Physically, yes. Emotionally. It took years. Therapy. Support groups. And she was lucky she found a therapist who specialized in abuse trauma. But Natalie, scars don't completely disappear. You just learn to live with them. It's comforting. Tom is sarcastic but kind. I didn't mean it like that. I meant, survival is possible. Reconstruction is possible. But it requires time and support. And a system that actually works. Ryan leans forward. And this time, I'm going to make sure the system works. In the following days, Ryan becomes a constant presence, but a cautious one. He doesn't show up unannounced. He always calls first. Can I come by? I brought documents to review, respecting her agency, never assuming access. He brings food, always a variety, always asking about preferences. Do you like Mexican food? Thai? Italian? Learning about tastes that Carter never bothered to ask about. And most importantly, he listens. He really listens. Without interrupting, without correcting, without questioning the veracity of his statements. Natalie recounts her gradual transformation. The first year was perfect. Carter was everything a woman could want. Attentive, romantic, generous, and then, slowly, changes. Small ones. Isn't that dress a little too revealing? Your friends are a bad influence. Why do you need to work when I can take care of you? Each change justified as love, as protection. Coercive control, Ryan calls it. An abuse tactic where the controller uses psychological techniques to dominate the victim. Isolation, financial control, monitoring, degradation, all disguised as care. Does it have a name? Yes, it does. And it's legally recognized in some states as a form of domestic violence, even without physical violence. Validation. Simple but transformative. Her experience has a name. It's real. It's recognized. Another night, Natalie talks about guilt. The worst part is that part of me still feels responsible, as if I caused it, as if I had been less anxious, less sensitive, less difficult. Maybe he didn't have. Stop. Ryan is firm but gentle. That's manipulation, him speaking through you. An abuser doesn't abuse because the victim provokes it. He abuses because he wants control. Period. And when you threaten control, being an independent person with your own will, with your own thoughts, he escalates. Not because you did something wrong, but because he doesn't tolerate autonomy. How do you know so much about this? Extensive training in domestic violence, 80 hours of certification, dozens more calls throughout my career. And Jenna, after what happened to her, I studied obsessively. I read everything. I attended workshops. Because I didn't want to be ignorant again. Ryan pauses. And something I've learned. Victims always blame themselves. Always. Because abusers spend years planting the idea that they caused the violence. That if they were just better, more compliant, quieter, the abuse would stop. But it's a lie. Abuse doesn't stop when the victim changes. It stops when the abuser loses access. Tears streamed down Natalie's face. No one ever said that. Everyone said marriage requires work from both sides. As if I had an equal share of the responsibility. You don't have it. A healthy relationship requires mutual work. An abusive relationship only requires one side to want control and the other to be vulnerable enough to be controlled. And vulnerability is not weakness. It's being human. Natalie wipes her eyes. Ryan, believe you. For the first time in years, I believe someone when they say it wasn't my fault. And at that moment, something changes. Not romance too soon, too complicated, but connection. A partnership based on mutual respect. Ryan seeing Natalie as a complete person, not a victim to be saved. Natalie seeing Ryan as an ally, not a savior. Thursday, 4 days after the escape. Linda Reyes gets an emergency hearing for a restraining order. Ryan takes Natalie to court not in a police car, but in his personal vehicle. Less official, more human. In the parking lot, before going in, Natalie hesitates. What if the judge doesn't believe her? What if Carter is there? What if, so we'll deal with it together. But Natalie, you have documentation, medical testimony, a record of calls he made trying to locate your obsession, not concern. And you have my testimony about your condition when I found you. We have a case, but he has an expensive lawyer, and you have the truth. And Linda, who doesn't lose cases like this. Ryan looks at her. Breathe. You survived 3 years with Carter. You can survive another 2 hours in court. She nods, she breathes, and they enter. Comment below. This makes sense to me. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because the hearing for an emergency restraining order isn't the clean victory that stories like to portray. There's no cinematic moment where the judge bangs the gavel and everything is resolved. It's a brutal, expository process where Natalie has to detail every humiliation, every threat, every moment of terror to a room full of strangers who are evaluating whether her pain is enough to warrant protection. The courtroom is small. Not a full courtroom, just a conference room converted for emergency hearings. Judge Martha Henderson presides, in her early 50s, an expression that has seen it all and developed armor against emotion. Linda Reyes sits next to Natalie. Across the room, empty. Carter isn't therein. Emergency order doesn't require his presence, but his shadow fills the room nonetheless. Case 2024, DV84, 7 the judge announces. Natalie Brenner Wells, petitioning for an emergency restraining order against Carter James Wells. Ms. Reyes. Proceed. Linda stands up. Professional. Prepared. Your Honor, my client seeks emergency protection from her husband, who has demonstrated an escalating pattern of coercive control, isolation, threats, and physical violence. She is 6 months pregnant and has reasonable and imminent fear for her safety and that of her unborn child. The judge looks at the papers. I see there is an alleged incident of physical violence. Details. Linda nods to Natalie. My client will testify. Natalie stands up, hands trembling, voice that starts weak but grows stronger with each word. 3 weeks ago, on November 15th, I mentioned to my husband that I wanted to visit my mother. She had asked to see me, and I hadn't seen her in months, because my husband wouldn't allow it. When I insisted, he pushed me. He didn't punch me, he just pushed me. But hard enough that I fell. I hit my back, and for a few seconds I thought I was going to hurt the baby. Did you seek medical treatment? Yes. The next day, Dr. Morrison at the Cedar Clinic. But I lied about how it happened because Carter was present during the appointment. I said I tripped on the stairs. Why did he lie? Because he was there, by my side. And he had already said, while I was on the ground, if you tell anyone, I'll say you fell by yourself, that you're clumsy, pregnant and clumsy. Who will believe you? The judge takes notes. Any other incidents of physical violence? Not directly, but he squeezes. My arm when he's angry, my waist when he wants to physically control me. It never leaves a mark, but it hurts, and it's a threat, and verbal threats, constant, about the baby. This baby is mine. If you try to leave, I guarantee you'll never see this child. Again, about me having no options. You don't work. You have no money. You have no one. Where are you going to go? Natalie's voice breaks, and he was right. I had no one. Because he spent 3 years systematically isolating me. Linda interjects. Your Honor, I have standard control documentation. Financial records showing that my client does not have access to her own funds. Testimony from a former employer confirming that Carter pressured her to leave her job. And testimony from Sheriff Ryan Coltrane about her condition when she was found. Is Sheriff Coltrane present? Ryan rises from the observation chairs. Yes, Your Excellency. Come closer. Witness. Ryan steps forward. Not in uniform, he's been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. But his presence carries authority nonetheless. Sheriff, under what circumstances did you meet Mrs. Wells? Traffic stop on Highway 40. 2 in the morning on November 18th. Broken headlights. But when I approached, I immediately recognized signs of trauma. She was visibly terrified. Not normal police stop nervousness. Genuine terror. Elaborate. Her hands were trembling uncontrollably. Recent crying was evident. A suitcase thrown onto the back seat, suggesting a hasty escape. And when I asked where she was going, she said far away. When I asked who she was running from, she pleaded, please don't send me back. Ryan pauses. I've been working for 20 years. I've made hundreds of stops, and I recognize the difference between a person committing a crime and a person fleeing danger. Ms. Wells was clearly fleeing a threat that she perceived as real and imminent. And you assessed that she was mentally competent, completely, scared, yes, but lucid, articulate, able to explain the situation coherently. There was no indication of psychosis, intoxication, or other mental impairment. Thank you, Sheriff. You may sit down. The judge reviews documents for several minutes. The room is silent except for the sound of pages turning. Finally, Mrs. Wells, I understand that your husband reported you missing. He claimed he was experiencing a mental health crisis due to the pregnancy. How do you respond? Natalie takes a deep breath. Carter always uses mental health as a weapon. Whenever I question, whenever I disagree, I'm anxious, hormonal, unstable. It's a way of discrediting me, of making others doubt me before I even speak. Do you have a history of mental health problems? I have anxiety, diagnosed 2 years ago. But my therapist, Dr. Amanda Simmons, can confirm that anxiety is a rational response to an abusive relationship, not the cause of it. Did Dr. Simmons provide a statement? Linda interjects. Yes, Your Excellency. Appendix C, Dr. Simmons attests that my client presents symptoms consistent with trauma from an emotionally abusive relationship, not primary instability. The judge reads. Then she looks at Natalie. Ms. Wells, if you grant an emergency order, it's temporary, valid for 30 days. During that period, Mr. Wells may not contact, approach, or communicate in any way. A full hearing will be scheduled where both sides present evidence. Do you understand? Yes, Your Excellency. And do you understand that violating this order will result in immediate arrest? Try. Therefore, based on the evidence presented, victim testimony, corroboration by a law enforcement officer, medical and psychological documentation, I grant an emergency restraining order. Mr. Wells must maintain a minimum distance of 500 feet. No direct or indirect contact. Valid until the hearing on December 18th. The gavel falls. Next case. And that's it. 30 seconds of deliberation. A decision that changes everything. Outside the courtroom, Natalie almost collapses with relief. Linda holds her elbow, steadying her breathe. You did it, he finished. Temporarily. The order grants you protection for 30 days. Time to establish separate residence, gather additional evidence, and prepare for a full hearing. And Carter, will he accept? Linda and Ryan exchange a glance. Ryan replies, no, he'll have a lawyer, he'll contest it, he'll claim you exaggerated, that you're unstable, that he never posed a real threat, so it's pointless. It all makes sense. Because now there's judicial recognition that your fear is reasonable. There's a legal document protecting you. And if he violates it, if he tries to contact your prison. Simple as that. But Ryan knows. And Natalie sees it in his eyes. It's not over. Not anytime soon. 2 days later, Ryan receives a call. Unknown number. Voice he doesn't recognize. Sheriff Coltrane. Robert Madison. Representando Carter Wells. Ryan senses immediate tension. Mr. Madison, I understand that he was involved in a situation with my client's wife. I did my job. I protected a citizen in danger. Interesting interpretation. Tom is cold, professional. My client alleges that you facilitated a kidnapping, that you hid his pregnant wife, that you prevented a father from having access to his unborn child, and that you used your position of authority to influence legal proceedings against my client. I didn't hide anyone. I protected an adult woman exercising her constitutional right to leave an unsafe relationship. My client disagrees with this characterization and plans to take legal action. A civil lawsuit against you personally for parental alienation, against the department for failing to protect his rights, and we will request full custody of the baby when it is born, alleging that the mother demonstrated instability by fleeing without reason, putting the child at risk, a veiled threat, a promise of war that goes beyond a restraining order. Do whatever you need to, Mr. Madison, but the restraining order remains, for now. But the full hearing is in 30 days, and I guarantee we will be prepared. With experts, with evidence of her instability, with impeccable documentation from my client. And when the judge sees the complete picture, the order will be revoked, and custody will be transferred. Good luck with that. We don't need luck, Sheriff. We have resources, and that always wins. The call ends, and Ryan is left there feeling the real weight of the situation. The legal battle is only beginning, and Carter has every arsenal money can buy. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because what Ryan doesn't tell Natalie immediately, he only discovers hours after a threatening call from Robert Madisines, that Carter isn't just planning a legal battle. He's preparing something more sinister, more dangerous, something a paper restraining order can't stop. Ryan goes to the motel that night. Later than usual, almost 10. He taps the code. 2 taps. Pause. 2 taps. Natalie opens the door and immediately sees something is wrong. Ryan doesn't have the neutral expression he usually maintains. He's tense, worried that he can't completely hide what happened. Ryan enters, closes the door, checks the curtains they're closed, then turns to her. Carter is escalating. His lawyer called, Robert Madison, threatened a custody battle, claiming you're unstable, that running away was abandonment, that you endangered a baby. Natalie feels blood draining from her face. Her hand instinctively goes to her stomach, a protective gesture that has become a reflex. Can he do this? Can he take the baby before it's even born? You can. Try to request immediate custody after the birth. Claim that you pose a risk. But Natalie, it's not easy. It requires substantial proof of maternal inadequacy. And you have a restraining order, medical testimony, documentation of abuse. He would have to convince the judge that, despite all that, it's dangerous. But he has money, expensive lawyers, experts who will say whatever he wants, and we have the truth. And Linda, who doesn't lose cases like this. Ryan sits in the chair. He gestures for her to sit on the bed. But I need to be honest, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Carter doesn't accept loss of control. And you running away was the biggest rejection a man like him can suffer. He's going to fight with everything he's got. For how long? Months? Years? Until the baby is born. Until the baby grows up. Her voice breaks. Ryan, I can't live like this. Looking over my shoulder. Waiting for the next lawsuit. This isn't life. No. But it's about survival. And sometimes survival is all we have until we build something better. Natalie wipes away tears that are beginning to well up. I'm sorry. I know you're risking everything. Your job, your reputation. And here I am crying. You have the right to cry. You have the right to be scared. And you don't need to apologize for feeling that way. Ryan leans forward. Natalie, listen. We're going to fight with every legal tool we have. Obsessive documentation, witnesses, evidence of his pattern of control. And if he violates the restraining order, he tries to contact us. If he shows up here, anything will document it and use it against him. What if I don't violate the rules? What if I play perfectly within the rules while destroying my life through the legal system? So we adapted. We found other ways. But Natalie, he hesitates, choosing his words carefully. I'll stand by your side. Not as Sheriff Nathis has become personal, as someone who cares. Genuinely cares. Something happens between them. Recognition, not romance too early, too complicated, but a deep connection. A partnership forged in crisis, but building something more. Thank you, she whispers, for believing when no one else did. For staying when it would have been easier to move on. For seeing me as a person, not just a fling. Always. Ryan keeps his eyes on her. And Natalie, this isn't charity. It's not pity. It's a choice. A choice to be here. To fight by your side. Because you deserve it. Tears are flowing freely now. I don't feel worthy. I feel like I caused this. That if things had been different, better, stop. That's Carter's voice, not yours. Ryan is firm. You didn't cause anything. An abuser abuses because they choose control, not because the victim provokes it. And Natalie, you're a survivor, not a passive victim. You fought, it's over. That requires courage that most people will never need to have. Silence hangs in the air. Natalie finally nods. Not entirely. Convinced years of gaslighting don't disappear in weeks, but beginning to believe. What do we do now? Now, you can rest. And tomorrow, we'll continue building the case. Linda is already preparing for the full hearing. And he hesitates, am investigating, discreetly, trying to find more evidence about Carter. A history he's hiding. What kind of history? I don't know yet. But men like him rarely start with their first victim. There might be ex-girlfriends, ex-employees, a pattern of behavior that I can document. Is this legal? You're investigating without an official case? Technically, gray area. But if you find something, it becomes usable evidence. Ryan stands up. But tonight, you sleep. Locked up. Safe. And call if you need anything. Understood? Understood. Ryan walks to the door, hand on the doorknob. Then he turns. Natalie, we're going to win this. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but we will. After he leaves, Natalie sits for a long time, processing, trying to believe in promises that seem impossible. What none of them know what they can't know while they build fragile hope on the foundation of a temporary restraining order and pro bono lawyer is that Carter isn't playing fair. Legal is slow, unpredictable. It requires patience that Carter doesn't have. So he hired Mark Voss, ex-military security investigator, who operates on the fringes of the law. Surveillance specialist, in finding information that people want to hide. I need to know everything, Carter says, sitting in his private office. Expensive scotch in hand. Too calm, too controlled. Where she is, who she's talking to. What she's planning. Everything. Understood, Voss replies. A man in his early 40s. Short, military-style hair. Eyes that don't miss a detail. And when you have information, you report to me. Only to me. Carter smiles. Not a friendly smile. Predatory. Natalie thinks court paperwork protects her, but paper burns. And I'm going to show her. There's nowhere she can hide. What if she has protection? Is this sheriff involved? Coltrane. He's on administrative leave. No badge, no authority. Just an ordinary man who made the mistake of getting involved. Carter drinks. And men make mistakes. Accidents happen. Especially when they're protecting something that isn't theirs. An unspoken, but clear threat. Voss accepts the job. Because it pays well. And because men like Voss don't ask moral questions when the check clears. 2 days later, Voss locates the motel. Pineview Motor Lodge. Room 14, discreet surveillance confirms. Natalie is there. Alone most of the time. Coltrane visits regularly. Voss documents, photos, schedules, patterns, and reports to Carter. She's vulnerable, Voss says. Alone, pregnant, limited options. If she wanted to apply pressure, it would be easy. Not yet, Carter replies. The restraining order is in effect. Any direct action incriminates me. But after the hearing, after the judge sees evidence of her instability, then we'll act. What kind of action? The kind that leaves no witnesses to dispute my version of events. Ryan senses something is wrong. An instinct he's developed over 20 years. On Thursday, driving to a motel, he notices a black SUV, tinted windows, parked in a position that offers a clear view of the second floor. Coincidence? Maybe. But Ryan doesn't believe in coincidences. He parks. He mentally notes the license plate. And when he goes up to Nat's room, he constantly checks to see if he's being followed. Ryan. Natalie opens the door. You're tense. More than usual. Just tired. A lie. He doesn't want to scare her. Not yet. Not without certainty. But that night, after leaving Natalie, Ryan does some research. SUV license plate. Registered to company. Voss Security Solutions. Private investigator. Ryan's stomach tightened. Carter wasn't just playing nice. He was planning something. Surveillance. Intimidation. Possibly worse. And a restraining order. Just paper. Nothing but paper. It won't stop a bullet. It won't deter a determined man with unlimited resources. Ryan makes a decision. He needs to move Natalie. Now, before Carter makes a move that neither of them can predict. But where to? Shelters have a waiting list. His house is the first place Carter would look, and fleeing to another city that technically violates a restraining order, she needs to be available for hearings. Imprisoned, all movements monitored, all options limited, and Carter knows it. He's counting on it, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Because men like Carter don't lose. They don't accept defeat. They destroy the entire board and everyone on Ippy for admitting they've lost control. And Natalie, she's about to discover that running away was just the beginning. That restraining order is illusory protection. The real battle for her life and the baby's life doesn't happen in a courtroom. It happens in darkness, where paper can't reach, where only survival matters. And in this war, love may not be enough to win. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject. Because what happens in the next few hours will test everything Ryan and Natalie have built. All their trust, all their hope, every carefully crafted plan. Because Carter isn't just playing legal chess. He's preparing something that no court order can stop. Ryan returns to the motel the following morning, earlier than usual 6 a.m. He barely slept. His mind processing surveillance, unspoken threats, his instinct screaming that time is running out. He taps the code. Natalie opens it immediately, as if she'd been expecting it. Or perhaps hadn't slept either. "We need to talk," he says. A tone that leaves no room for argument. "And then we need to move you." "Today? What? Why?" "Because Carter hired a private investigator, Voss Security Solutions. And last night, the company's registered SUV was parked with a clear view of his bedroom. Surveillance, Natalie. He knows where you are." Panic flashed across her face. But restraining order, it protects against direct contact, not against third-party surveillance. And if Carter is paying someone to monitor, it's not just to know his location. It's preparation for something bigger. Like what? Ryan hesitates. He doesn't want to terrify her, but she deserves the truth. Intimidation. Documentation to use against you in court. Or, he takes a deep breath, something worse. Men, like Carter, when they lose control legally, sometimes take control through violence. He wouldn't do that. Not with a baby, Natalie. He pushed you when you were pregnant. Threatened to take the baby. He's using the legal system as a weapon. Escalation is standard. And I don't expect to find out how far he'll go. Ryan takes her suitcase. "You're coming with me. To a friend's house, a former colleague, who lives 2 cities away. A place Carter doesn't know. He can't track you. You'll stay there. Until the hearing. But doesn't that violate order? Don't I need to be accessible?" Technically, yes. But Linda could argue that the move was for security reasons. And honestly, I'd rather explain the relocation to a judge than explain why I didn't protect you when I had the chance. Natalie looks around the room. A cheap motel that has become a refuge. The first safe place in years. And now, not even that is safe anymore. "Okay," she finally says. "Let's go." They leave through the back. Ryan constantly checks if they are being followed. He changes routes 3 times. And finally, after 2 hours of driving, they arrive at the home of Sarah Mitchell-Ryan's former partner. Now retired, living in a small town where nobody knows Carter Wells. "Stay as long as you need," Sarah says, hugging Natalie. "And if anyone asks, you're a visiting niece. Simple as that." Natalie feels, for the first time in days, an additional layer of security. Not legal security, but physical distance. Anonymity. Ryan stays for hours. Explaining the plan, Linda will inform the court about the relocation. The hearing is still 2 weeks away. And until then, Natalie remains here. Hidden, safe. "And you?" Natalie asks as he's leaving. "Carter will know you helped. He'll blame you. Let him try. I'm on leave anyway." "And Natalie?" He stops at the door. "This is worth it. You're worth it. No matter the cost." After he leaves, Natalie sits in the guest room Sarah prepared, small, but cozy, safe in ways a motel never was. And for the first time, it allows thought to form. Maybe I'll survive this. Maybe baby and I have a chance. But at his home, 2 cities away, Carter receives a call from Voss. She's disappeared. She left the motel this morning with Coltrane. I don't know where she went. Carter doesn't yell. He doesn't break things. He just smiles. Cold, calculated. Then find it. Use all your resources. And when you find it, let me know. Because Natalie needs to learn. There's nowhere she can hide from me. And the war continues. It's just that the battlefield has changed. If you've made it this far, if this story of escape, protection, and struggle against a system that should protect but often fails has touched you, you understand why these stories need to be told. Because it's not about an easy, happy ending. It's about the reality of thousands of women who flee every day, who face men with resources, who discover that a restraining order is just paper, and paper isn't enough for determination, who find allies in unexpected places, or find no one at all. And if this kind of story resonates with you, if you want to continue exploring these truths about abuse, survival, imperfect protection, and love that grows amidst chaos, subscribing here is the way to keep walking with me. Because Natalie's journey isn't over. The audience is coming. Carter hasn't given up. And you'll want to know what happens when the predator finally finds its hidden prey. Comment below. I'm with you until the end. Because when you leave that comment, you're saying more than just that you liked it. You're saying you believe in survivors. That you understand that escaping is only the first step. That systems often fail, but individual humanity can prevail. That stories like this deserve to be heard. And look, if this touched you in any way, if you felt fear when Natalie realized she was being followed, anger at the system that protects abusers, hope for the partnership with Ryan, leave a like so I know. Because this engagement isn't about numbers. It's about knowing that the story resonated, that it mattered, that it made a difference. And there's a video over here that continues in the same vein, exploring what happens when Natalie has to face Carter in court, when surveillance becomes a direct threat, when Ryan has to decide, how far will he go to protect her? Click and follow along there. Because the real battle is only just beginning. Carter knows where Sarah lives. It's only a matter of time. And when the confrontation comes, when there's no more paper, no more distance, no more places to hide, who wins? A man with unlimited resources and zero conscience? Or a pregnant woman with only courage and an ally who may have crossed too many lines? Stories that matter don't end easily. And this, it's far from over. See you next time.